Any questions? Yes.
Are you just looking for, do you just need transcripts from the degrees that we have?
Mm-hmm.
So if we've also gone back and gotten a diploma, there's no need to include that?
If you have, it depends on whether or not you have, if you meet that 2.7 or not. If you meet the 2.7 and above and you graduated, you have no problems from a university, you're all set. But if you, let's say fell below that 2.7 and want to prove that, you went back to school and did much better the second time through, even if it was a diploma program, you may want to include them then.
And does it matter how long ago you graduated?
No, a bachelor's degree is a bachelor's degree, so whenever you completed it, you completed it. Yes?
You mentioned that it's at a SC4 location. Is it listed in the front of this pamphlet, or where is the campus if you were to leave from here? Is it listed? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
One question, Gil. A number of us registered or applied last summer in July. And in dealing with Vicki, one of the things that she wanted from me, she called and there was some confusion as to whether we were going to be international students.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted a certain number of forms. Is that something clarified? She backed off once I called her over here.
Yeah, no,
there was almost some confusion.
I haven't had that at all. You were the only one.
Well, and then I very quickly when I called back, they said, "Oh no, we don't need that because you'll be over here doing your master's. That would be an issue."
Right.
There isn't a problem. Once they've got this, it's just as if you were a domestic student and you're carrying on.
As far as from the government perspective?
Yeah, there was some concern about us being Canadian, taking the course of Fort Hearing, and it would be.
We reviewed that with both governments on each side, and from our understanding, as long as you're not making the stay a week, you're okay.
Okay, I think I'm through, but I just thought others might run into that challenge. So I just wanted to...
No, and if you do, be sure to contact us. And you can, me, Melissa, any of us, Vicki, and we'll be sure to, make sure that we get you in the right direction or talk to the right authorities or whatever the case may be. So, but this is unique because of all the places we've delivered in Ontario, we've never delivered this program in the United States ever. So this will be the first time, even though it's not really for U.S. students, right? But so we're doing this for the first time as well. But we have had, historically, we've been offering classes in Port Huron for quite a while at St. Clair County Community College, right? And we've had, a fair number of people from Sarnia come over, so that's not uncommon. So it's not the first time we've done that.
So you include a free Nexus?
I wish I could.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. And from a marketing side.
And you'd be on the leading edge, Caleb.
Testimonial small.
Right. I'd have to know how much that. Does anyone know how much that?
Oh, it's not much. Don't worry about it.
We'll think about it.
$40. Not much. $40, $50.
Of course, you have to somehow override your...
I will get back. That's a very good idea. I may be able to do something like I'll waive your application fee or return it to you to buy your Nexus Pass.
Crossing the bridge can be a nightmare on weekends.
Yeah, no, I'm very familiar. Yeah. So to be there by 6, you'd have to leave here at 3 sometimes.
The problem with Nexus, though, like I have Nexus, but the problem is when Nexus is open for the 6 to 10, it will be open on the way over, but not the way back.
But it shouldn't be as busy on the way back, I wouldn't imagine, right? Right. Okay. But it shouldn't. I wouldn't imagine it's as busy that late at night. Is it the border?
No, you're not coming back, but in the warmer months to get across on Friday night, it is like.
That's. We will. I will have to look at my budget, but I like that idea actually. So, yes.
Question for you.
Sure.
The K-12 system here in Ontario, if you have a master's degree from an accredited Canadian university, you go up in the pay scale there, five levels. Do you know if CMU is recognized
That's a great question, and it's district by district is what we found. Historically, the vast majority of the time is yes, because we're ministry approved. So since the ministry approves us to deliver it, they accept it. But we had one district in Trenton or Belleville, I can't remember. One of the two that we were all the way to the end and they were ready to start, and they said, oh, no, actually, we're not going to do it. Which I don't know what happened. There may have been politics, I'm not sure. But so that I know of an instance where it hasn't, so I don't want to say every time yes. But the vast majority of the time it has. Because we do get a lot, that come in and out. Any other questions? We'll go here.
I just have a quick question, Caleb, in that I was accepted to the Master of Ed program in education, and it was canceled because the cohort was too small. That was to start at SC4 in September. So now what?
You don't have to reapply.
Transfer to this one?
You don't have to reapply. You don't have to worry about any of that.
I have to contact
Vicky.
Vicky to do that?
Vicky would be the best one. And just send her an email and say, I want to switch. And she'll switch everything over for you.
Right. And do you know if that program's going to start in January?
The MA in education, it was canceled there. And what we're finding in Michigan, in many cases, is that, and primarily we do this as much as a service. It's not a huge revenue generator by any means when you start factoring in, room rental costs, everything, my jobs, everybody, what we all do. It's more of a service than anything else. And we're actually scaling back on delivering those programs in Michigan because Michigan's been so hard hit. Every 12 minutes a family leaves Michigan, right? So that means we don't have any new teachers being hired because the school population is getting smaller. And so as we go around the state and talk to local districts and say, do you need anything? Can we provide for you? We're finding they're saying, we don't have any new teachers that came in. 90% of our teachers already have master's degrees because they've been here for 7 years or more. So that one is less likely. So they canceled it permanently from my understanding, and it probably won't start again anytime in the near future.
Do you have continuous intakes, or when are your intakes for the program?
Intake is, since it's a cohort basis, is based on the launch of this program. We do accept people into the third class. After the third class, you can't jump into the cohort any longer.
So like every September?
It's depending. This cohort is dependent upon how quickly people want to start and how soon we get to essentially 15 people or more.
And then you wait for another group of people before you start again.
That's correct. That's correct. And we usually give 2 years in between. When this one's about to teach out, we'll start the next one. If there's a need, of course. So I know initially when we first talked back in September, there was a group that was interested in starting, in the spring, which would be April, May-ish time frame. But depending on how soon people want to start and whether they want to take classes over the summer or whether it'd be easier to start in the fall, or, we'll have to discuss that with everyone. And Vicky will help carry that dialogue of when are you most interested in starting, that kind of stuff. So, we had a question.
Yeah, we've got a couple questions, and some of them have been answered. I heard you mention that you teach this at St. Clair. Is it on the same, like a weekend basis, 6-8 weeks, and is it in relationship to the Ontario education too?
Yeah, it's
separate of this.
No.
Oh, okay.
So it will be specifically for this group, for the group that we're talking to today.
And I was just curious if you weren't able to attend this course when it's coming around again in our area.
Probably in 2.5, maybe 3 years, something like that.
But you can see it coming again. I know you can't. You don't have a crystal ball. I understand.
It depends on, how well this one is received and whether we, Really, what happened for those of you that were part of that applied to the other program that was offered earlier, the education instruction degree, a concentration for it, is that there were more people from Canada that were interested than there were from the U.S. So that's when we have a long-standing history in Ontario, and our liaison here is named Dr. Roy Giroux. He's VP Emeritus from Humber, and he is good friends with Tony Hanlon, that's your president. And he said, hey, you know, we had a bunch of people that were coming from, we even found that, you know, there was like 4 or 5 applications from Lambton. Would you be interested in doing this?